Good day, Hudson Valley. I'm your host, Lisa Kazan, and welcome to our show. Today we're talking about sustainability and cleaning up our planet and how the things that we put into our mouth, believe it or not, have an incredible effect on our environment. Today's guest is a friend, Shanti Urreta. She is a health coach, and she's also authored a book called Dear World, See What I See, which chronicles her path to a plant-based nutritional life. So welcome, Shanti.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So talk a little bit about the book and how you sort of evolved into this new lifestyle.
I have been a plant-based eater, vegan, for 11 and a half years. And it started with a diagnosis of multiple myeloma, blood cancer.
Okay.
And fortunately, after 5 weeks, it was determined to be a misdiagnosis.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
It was really good. However, what happened was I was taken from one path of my life to a totally different path. What that started was getting off of meat, getting off of dairy, going organic, and juicing my vegetables. And I know I needed to do that because it was recommended to do that to survive.
Okay.
And as I started to learn about all the health aspects of the way that I was eating, the standard American diet, SAD they call it for short, I started to make these changes in my diet. And I raised 2 children and really didn't know how to cook. But little bit by little bit, I learned how to be a fairly efficient in the kitchen.
Okay.
After many books and videos about the health aspects, I started to see videos on the animals and their plight and what is not shown, what they want to keep behind an iron curtain.
Yeah.
And Paul McCartney said that if slaughterhouses had glass walls, we would all be vegetarian. So I decided I wasn't going back.
Okay.
I wasn't going back for my health, and I wasn't going back for the animals.
Okay.
And then I started to see what was happening to our planet as a result of our eating choices.
Okay.
And by the time I started seeing that, I was very happy to be a vegan.
So you recently, and you know, you can go into this a little bit more, but I know you recently screened a documentary called Cowspiracy. I did start watching it, very shocking, and I wanted you to talk about that. I mean, it really is an eye-opener when it comes to animal agriculture and the impacts that it has on our planet, from deforestation to water consumption to
Water pollution.
Greenhouse gases. So talk a little bit about that and why you think nobody really knows about this.
Well, Cowspiracy is a wonderful documentary, and I'm excited that you're going to see the rest of it. What he talks about is the impact of the animal agriculture and why nobody is saying anything about it. And he goes from organization to organization to organization, and nobody wants to talk about this. And what he found out in this process is they don't want to, all these Greenpeace and Sierra Club and World Watch, they don't want to talk about it, and they want to say, oh, well, we're taking care of fossil fuel, and we're taking care of recycling, and turn your water off when you brush your teeth. And that's easy for them to talk about. But when it comes to the animal agriculture, they don't want to talk about that. As in Cowspiracy, what he found out was all these organizations are funded by corporate, and if they say things that are not
in alignment with their mission,
yes, then their funding is going to be cut.
Yeah, it's disturbing. And if you look at some of the stats, I'm sure you know these off the top of your head. I mean, it was shocking to me. One stat stated that the methane gas that is produced from animals, cows in particular, is, I don't know how many times more than the entire transportation industry, which
including all cars, buses, trains,
airplanes,
everything.
Everything, right. So if you stopped eating meat, you'd have more an effect on the environment than if you did never driving your car again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is something that people like me, and there are many of us, who are trying to get people to say, let's look at this. Let's really, if they're not going to be helping us, all these corporations all these organizations that are there supposedly to be keeping an eye out for us and our well-being are not doing their job, well, then we need to do something. And so that's why I speak up. Okay. That's why I'm sitting here with you, because not only for our health, I am so excited. It thrills me to no end that I am 58 years old and not on any medicine, healthier than I was when I was 25.
Wow, that's great.
But I don't do it for my health. That's just a side benefit that I have. I do it for the animals, and I do it for humanity, because what it's looking like is not very good.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to say that. We all want to say, oh, what's on TV tonight? What are we doing? Where are we going this weekend? And nobody is saying, no, wait a second. I need to learn how to eat so that my children and my grandchildren have a planet that they can live on. Yeah. Because right now, it's not looking good.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be, the world is coming to an end, the sky is falling. Actually, the sky is falling. Have you seen the chemtrails that they're spraying so that they...
No. No, haven't seen that.
No.
Uh-oh.
You have to start looking at the sky. And all the planes that are leaving this white cloud, that's one of their ways to help with global warming. But if we stop eating meat, we can do so much more for global warming than all the crazy things that they're trying to do.
Okay. Now, understand that, what we're talking about right now is, kind of shocking and a little bit, off the deep end for some people. They can't wrap their heads around this. They've grown up eating, steak and burgers and hot dogs all their lives. So, instead of redoing their entire eating lifestyle in one fell swoop, how might one at least take some positive measures, start making some changes that are practical? Because think of yourself, if you have children and your kids are used to, the traditional American diet, and they're very fussy, how do you get them to eat nothing but plant-based food? That's really challenging. So what do you say to that?
There has to be some level of education. There has to be some level of, no, I'm going to learn about this and I'm going to learn how to do things. In Cowspiracy, he talks about, well, what about meatless Mondays? Well, okay, so one day out of the week, you're doing something good for the planet, but the other 6 days, you're not. And so it's up to you on how much you want to do. First, you have to see why this is so important to do. Because by 2048, scientists say there will be no ocean life.
Wow. That's not that far away.
That's right around the corner. And when there's no ocean life, we don't have very much chance of survival after that. And so what are we going to do for our children and our grandchildren? We have to say, I am going to do this, and I am going to do whatever it takes. Your children, they will adapt. You will adapt. I eat so amazingly. Every meal, I'm going, oh my goodness, this is so delicious. And I didn't do that when I was a standard American diet eater.
Ah, okay.
I would say, what's for dinner? Chicken.
Yeah.
What's for dinner? Chicken. One thing that people can do right now is saying, what's for dinner? Well, what's green that I can eat for dinner? And wrap your meal around your green.
Okay.
Greens, beans, nuts, seeds, legumes. There's so many things, but you won't find it in the regular supermarket. You know,
Okay.
go to a health food store and start eating right. You want to feed your body right. You want to grow up healthy. You want your children to be healthy. You know, you asked me what can we do slowly?
Yeah.
Well,
Or an initial step.
initial step, learn.
Okay.
Google plant-based diets, Google vegan diets, get a cookbook. Say, okay, I'm going to make one meal today that's plant-based.
Okay.
That's animal-free.
So on that note, you are going to be hosting a 2-part educational series locally, right, at the Mahopac Library. Transitioning to better health, I think is the title, and it's going to be on the 15th and the 22nd.
Yes.
Yeah. So 2 parts, they kind of work together. So what is going to be the main theme of those workshops?
On the 15th, we're going to be talking about why. Why is this so important? A heart disease is the #1 cause of death in the United States. Caldwell Esselstyn, the author of How to Reverse and Prevent Heart Disease, says that heart disease is a toothless paper tiger that never ever need exist. And that's our #1 cause of death in the United States. And going through a plant-based diet, you have to see why you want to do this. So on the 15th, we'll talk about why.
Okay.
So for your health, for the animals, for the planet. And then on the 22nd, we'll talk about how. How do we start implementing this? So I'll show some how the kitchen needs to be changed a little bit.
Okay.
The staples that belong in a plant-based kitchen. And I'll start to show some recipes.
Okay. And now you also kind of take it to the 3rd step, right? If people want to really dive into it, they can actually go to your home, or will you go to other people's homes?
No, I'll
Usually at
invite
your
people
place.
to my house.
Okay.
And I'll show them the kitchen, and we'll cook together, and slowly, the groups that I've taken, in 30 days, they've made this transition.
Wow. And this is free. You're not charging for this, right? This is wonderful. Okay. So if they want more information on you, on your book, on what you do, they go to your site, and that's shantiurreta.com?
Yes.
Okay. And then do they have to register for the Mahopac workshop?
It would be helpful.
Okay.
But if you forget to register, just come.
Okay. So they should just Google Mahopac Library, and
Yes.
they'll be able to register there. Okay.
Yes.
Well, this was fantastic. Thank you so much for coming. We want to have you back. We're going to have her back. So, and the next time we have you back, maybe we'll do like a little recipe or something like that, just to kind of get people going, so they're not
Sounds
so
good.
intimidated about this, because
Yes.
it's not that hard. You're
It's
right.
not that hard.
Okay.
It's not that hard. It's just a matter of learning.
It's just a matter of learning, exactly. Okay, so we're going to sign off now. Have a great day, Hudson Valley. As always, go to gooddayhudsonvalley.com if you'd like more information on the show. And we'd love to hear from you. If you've got suggestions for future guests or topics, please get in touch with us. Thank you so much.